7 daily habits that are actually destroying your brain, and most people think they are normal. Imagine waking up tomorrow with sharper mind, better focus, and better energy, clearer thinking, and better decisions. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine slowly losing those things, not at once, not in a dramatic way, but little by little, until one day you realize that you are constantly distracted. You struggle to focus and your motivation feels weaker. Your mind feels tired and you cannot remember where it started. And here is the scary part. For many people, it doesn't start from this, it starts from habits. Habits that feel normal. Habits millions of people do repeatedly every single day without second thought. And one of the habits that we are going to cover today is probably something you have already done in the last hour, maybe even in the last few minutes. As we go through these habits, keep a score, not for me, but for you. Because by the end of this video, you will know which habit is costing you the most and which one deserves your attention first. And trust me, the final habit is the one most people never see coming. Let's begin. Habit number 1. Your phone owns your attention. Let's begin with something uncomfortable. What was the first thing you touched this morning? For most people, it wasn't a toothbrush, it wasn't a glass of water, and it wasn't a family member. It was a phone. Think about that. Before your feet touch the floor, before your brain wakes up, a device is already competing for your attention. And at first glance, it seems harmless. You are just checking messages, just watching one video, just scrolling for a minute. But have you ever noticed it? 1 minute becomes 20, how 20 minutes become 40, and how 40 minutes become an hour? Suddenly, the morning is gone and you don't even remember what you watched. That's because many platforms are built on one thing: keeping your attention. Every swipe offers uncertainty, and uncertainty is powerful. Your brain loves novelty. Maybe the next post will be interesting. Maybe the next video will be funny. Maybe the next notification will matter. So you keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Now, here is where things get strange. Many people spend hours consuming information every day, yet they struggle to focus for 10 minutes on a single task. Ever notice that? You can watch shorts for an hour, but reading 10 pages of a book feels difficult. Why? Because one activity constantly changes and the other requires sustained attention. And attention is like a muscle. Imagine trying to get stronger by never lifting anything heavy. It doesn't work. The same principles apply to focus. The more your attention is constantly interrupted, the harder deep focus can become. And deep focus matters. It's how people learn. It's how people create. It's how people solve difficult problems. Without it, everything becomes difficult. But here is the good news. You don't need to throw your phone into the river. You don't need to disappear into the woods. You just need boundaries. Maybe that means no phone for the first 30 minutes after waking up. It means keeping social media off your home screen. Maybe it means turning off unnecessary notifications. Small changes, big difference. And if you think that habit is affecting many people, the next one may be even worse because millions of people are bragging about it, even though their brain is begging to stop. So, the second habit that is quietly destroying your brain is treating sleep like a waste of time. Let's play a game. Imagine someone offers you a pill. It improves learning, it improves memory, it improves decision making, improves recovery, improves productivity. Most people would. But what if I told you that many people have already access to something remarkably similar? It's called sleep. Yet somehow we've convinced ourselves it's optional. People brag about sleeping 4 hours, 5 hours, maybe 6. as if exhaustion is a badge of honor, as if being tired means being productive. But think about this. Would you expect your phone battery to last forever without charging? Of course not. You plug it in. You understand that energy needs replenishment. So, why people expect their brain to function at full capacity while it's running out of energy? The truth is simple. Your brain is incredibly active during sleep. It's not shutting down, it's working, organizing, processing, recovering, strengthening. Imagine trying to build a skyscraper while removing the construction crew every night. Progress will slow dramatically. Sleep is also part of construction process. It's how your brain becomes better tomorrow than it is today. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how your life feels different after a quality night's sleep? Small problems become smaller. You think more clearly. You react less emotionally. Your patience improves. Your focus improves. Everything feels easier. Now compare that with a poor sleep. Suddenly, everything becomes harder. People annoy you faster. Tasks feel heavier. Mistakes become more common. Motivation also drops. And here is the dangerous part. Many people become so accustomed to exhaustion that they think it's normal. Imagine wearing a heavy backpack for years. Eventually, you stop noticing the weight, but the weight is still there. That's what chronic sleep deprivation can look like. You adapt, but adaptation doesn't mean optimization. And what we are going to explain next might explain why many people feel exhausted even if they are getting enough sleep. Because the next habit follows people everywhere, to school, to work, to bed, even on vacation. And unlike the first two habits, many people don't even realize they are doing it. So, the third habit, which is quietly destroying our brain, is living in a constant stress. If a line appears in front of you, your heart rate changes, your breathing changes, your muscles prepare for action. That's stress. And in that situation, stress is useful. It helps you survive. The problem is that modern stress doesn't have off switch. The line is not a line anymore. It's adrenaline, a bill, a relationship issue, a notification, a fear about the future, a regret about the past. And because those things can follow us everywhere, stress becomes constant. Imagine revving a car engine all day long, not driving, just revving, hour after hour, day after day. Eventually, something starts wearing down. The human brain is similar. It wasn't designed to remain in a state of non-stop alertness forever. Yet, that's how many people live. Their body is sitting in a chair, but their mind is running a marathon. They are replaying conversations. They are imagining worst case scenarios, thinking about problems they cannot solve now, worrying about things they haven't even happened. Sounds familiar? Be honest. How many times that you have constantly worried and stressed about something, only for it to never happen? Probably more than once. Most people have. That's one reason that stress can be so draining. It demands energy, whether the threat is real or imagined. And over time, that can affect focus, mood, sleep, and overall well being. But here is something important. Managing stress doesn't mean eliminating every challenge, because that's impossible. Managing stress means creating recovery, space, breathing room, moments where your brain isn't constantly under attack. A walk, exercise, prayer, meditation, journaling, time with people you care about, silence, anything that reminds your nervous system that not every moment is an emergency. Because if every moment feels like an emergency, eventually your brain starts to believe it. And what comes next is one of the most overlooked habits of all. In fact, many people don't realize that it's affecting and damaging their brain until years later. And unlike scrolling, sleep, or stress, the next habit feels more productive, which makes it more dangerous. So, the next habit, which is quietly destroying our brain, is starving your brain of movement. What do you think happens when a powerful machine sits unused for years? The parts start to wear down, rust appears, performance drops, efficiency decreases. Now, think about the human body. For most of human history, movement wasn't optional. People walked, climbed, carried things, worked with their hands. Movement was built into daily life. And today, many people wake up, sit while eating breakfast, sit at work, sit in a car, sit while having lunch, sit while scrolling, sit while watching TV, then go to bed and repeat the same pattern tomorrow. And the scary part is it feels normal. In fact, some people can spend an entire day barely moving at all. Now, before any misunderstanding, this isn't about becoming an athlete. You don't need to run marathons. You don't need six packs abs. You don't need to spend 3 hours in a gym. This is about something much simpler. Your brain loves movement. Your body moves. Your brain benefits. Have you ever noticed how your thinking becomes clear after a simple walk? How solutions appear when you are moving? How stress feels lighter? How your mood improves? There is a reason for that. Movement is not just for your muscles, it's also for your brain. It's maintenance for your entire system. And here is something many people don't realize. The goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. A 20-minute walk every day beats an intense workout once every 3 weeks. Consistency wins every time. Imagine two people. The first person exercises intensely for 1 month and then quits. The second person walks every day for years. Who do you think benefits more? I think it's obvious most people already know the answer. The small actions repeated consistently create massive changes. But here is where things become interesting. The next habit is even more dangerous because it attacks something every human being needs. And unlike lack of movement, people often don't notice it until they are suffering from it. Let's talk about loneliness. So, the next habit, which is quietly destroying your brain, is living without real human connection. Imagine being surrounded by hundreds, thousands of people. Messages arrive every day, notifications never stop. You have hundreds of followers, maybe even thousands. Yet somehow you still feel alone. Welcome to the one of strangest problems of modern life. We are more connected than ever, but many people feel more disconnected than ever. That's a problem because human beings were not made to thrive alone. Think about your happiest memories. Most of them probably involve others, family, friends, celebrations, experiences shared with someone else. Very few people look back on life and say, you know what made me the happiest? Scrolling alone. Connection matters. Not because it's nice, but it's necessary. Have you ever noticed how different you feel after a meaningful conversation? Not a small talk, but a deep, real, heart to heart conversations. The kind where someone listens, the kind where you laugh, the kind where you feel understood. Something changes. Your stress feels lighter, your mood improves, your perspective shifts, problems seem smaller. That's not an accident. Humans evolve in groups. Connection is not luxury, it's part of how we are wired. Yet, many people neglect it for years. Work expands, the responsibilities increase, life gets crowded, and suddenly relationships move to the background. And one day they wonder why they feel empty. Why success doesn't feel satisfying. Why they are surrounded by people but still feel isolated. The truth is simple. A healthy brain doesn't just need information, it needs relationships. And if you think loneliness is a modern challenge, wait until you hear the next habit. Because unlike loneliness, this follows people everywhere, and many people willingly consume it for hours every day without realizing what it is going to do to their mind. Habit number 6, feeding your mind junk information. Most people are careful about what they eat, at least they try to be. They know that eating garbage all day is not a great idea. But here is a question. What about the things you feed your mind every day? Imagine eating fast food for breakfast, eating fast food for lunch, eating fast food for dinner every single day. You wouldn't expect to feel amazing, yet many people do the mental equivalent. Outrage, drama, fear, negativity, conflict, gossip, clickbait, hour after an hour, day after day, and they wonder why they feel anxious, why they feel exhausted, why they struggle to stay positive. Imagine putting seeds in a garden. What grows depends on what you plant. Your mind works similarly. If you constantly consume outrage, outrage becomes normal. If you constantly feed fear, fear starts to shape your perspective. Now, this doesn't mean ignoring reality. It doesn't mean pretending problems do not exist. It means being intentional. Ask yourself, does this information help me? Does it educate me? Does it improve my life? Or is it simply stealing my attention? That question alone can transform what you consume. Now we've arrived at the final habit. The habit almost nobody expects. The habit that ties everything together. And once you understand it, you will see why many people remain stuck for years. So, the seventh habit is ignoring warning signs. Imagine your car making a strange sound and then every day becomes louder. Would you ignore it? Probably not. You would want to know what's happening because small problems often become big problems. Now, here is the real question. Why many people do not treat their brain the same way? They notice they are stressed, but they ignore it. They notice they feel disconnected, but they ignore it. Months after months, years after years, until one day the problem becomes impossible to ignore or overlook. The truth is that your mind whispers before it screams. It gives small signals, subtle changes, gentle warnings. The challenge is modern life is noisy. We are distracted, busy, rushed, overstimulated, and because of that, we ignore the whispers that our mind gives us. Think back over everything we've covered today: scrolling, sleep, stress, movement, connection, information. Every one of these habits sends signals, and those signals matter because the quality of your daily habits becomes the quality of your entire life. Not overnight, not next week, but gradually. The same way a tree grows. Small actions repeated consistently, creating enormous results over time. So let me leave you with one final thought. Your brain is the most valuable thing you own. More valuable than your phone, more valuable than your car, more valuable than your money. Because every dream you will ever pursue, every goal you will achieve, every relationship you will ever build, every memory you will ever create. And yet, most people spend more time maintaining their devices than maintaining their minds. Think about that. Today, you discovered 7 habits. Maybe you recognized one, maybe you recognized several. That's okay. This is not about perfection, it's about awareness. Because awareness is where change begins. You don't need to change everything today. You don't need a complete life transformation by tomorrow morning. Choose one habit, just one. Improve it this week. Then improve another and another. Because the future version of you is being built right now by the choices you made today. And here is the question I want you to answer in the comments. Which one are you going to change first? Because the conversation starts here, but the real change and the real transformation begins after this video ends.